They say photographs capture moments, frozen forever in time. But what if the moment you capture isn't yours? What if your camera sees yesterday even when you're standing in today? Clara Wynne was a street photographer, quiet, patient, always chasing light in the dark corners of the city. She loved the way a single frame could tell a story even when words couldn't. One Sunday afternoon, while wandering through an old flea market, she found it a vintage camera wrapped in cracked leather, its brass lens gleaming faintly. A small, faded label hung from it, only 3 words written in red ink. "Do not develop." The vendor, an old man with trembling hands, refused to meet her eyes. "It doesn't belong here," he murmured. "It never did." Clara smiled politely, paid him, and walked away thinking it was just another antique, another story waiting to be retold through her lens. That night, she loaded the film and began shooting. The click of the shutter echoed softly in her small apartment. Everything felt ordinary until she developed the photos. Every image she'd taken, every single one, showed the same locations, but different. The cafe on Fifth Avenue had turned into a bakery. The old clock tower was freshly painted, not cracked like today, and the people their clothes were decades out of date. Clara stared in disbelief. Was this some kind of printing error, a trick of exposure? But then came the photo that made her hands tremble. A portrait of a woman standing in the middle of the street. Same hair, same eyes. The woman looked exactly like her, and she was smiling right at the camera. Clara couldn't sleep that night. She told herself it was a coincidence. The next morning, she went back out, determined to test the camera again. Each photo she developed showed the same strange phenomenon, the world as it once was. Cars from the 1960s. People long gone. Buildings that didn't exist anymore. And always, always, that same woman appearing somewhere in the frame. At first distant, then closer, then waving. Clara became obsessed. She stopped eating, stopped sleeping, taking photos until her fingers ached. She told herself she could solve it, that there must be a logical reason. Until one evening, she pointed the camera at herself. She pressed the shutter, flash. When the photo developed, it wasn't her room anymore. It was an empty studio, and her reflection staring back from inside the lens, smiling. The next morning, Clara was gone. Her friends found her apartment empty. The only thing left behind was the camera. Weeks later, her photographs were discovered and displayed in a small art gallery downtown. Each image told a story, haunting, nostalgic, eerily beautiful. But if you looked closely, in every frame, a faint figure lingered in the background. A woman with a camera, sometimes in shadow, sometimes staring right at the viewer. And beneath the final photograph, a small note written in red ink. Do not develop. Because some memories should never be captured. Soft heartbeat, echo transitions to silence, ending with the sound of an old camera shutter closing.